Good morning. I'm having, well, I just went grocery shopping because I cannot go another day eating out. I'm still gonna eat out today because I want some spinach and artichoke dip, but that's all I'm gonna get. I'm not gonna get like no big old ass meal. So I went grocery shopping so I can make my Greek yogurt. I'm about to go see an apartment at 12:15. And I forgot to mention last time, every time I've moved into a new apartment, I've never went to go like look at the apartment. Like I looked at the photos online, I'm like, oh, it look good, I'm gonna move in there. But this time I'm like, let me go look at the apartment. But I don't know why I was doing that. I think maybe because I was in a rush and I didn't really have time to look at stuff. But yeah, hopefully this is the one. The one I wanted last time I didn't get, so hopefully this is the one. So hold on, I'm yawning. Stretching. Anyway, I went to go see the apartment and I like it. But as I was thinking if I should solidify this when I was on the agency website, the agency that I'm with. And so this one has 3 bedrooms technically, but like one of the bedrooms is like an office. But you can make it like a bedroom, I guess, if you wanted to, but it's very slim. It's almost like a hallway. It's bigger than a hallway, but it's too small to be like a bedroom, but it's technically like 3 bedrooms. It has a bathroom, living room, kitchen, whatever. But this other one on the website is 4 bedrooms. It has, the kitchen area is separated, which I like, whereas the other one, the one I just went to go visit, it's like the kitchen area is like in the living room, kind of, or basically. And I don't really like that about it. So it's like, this one I went to go see was like 42 square meters or something like that. And then this other one is 74 square meters for like 50 euros more. And I'm like, duh. So I'm gonna go see that one at 5:30 just to see how I feel, and then I'll probably go with that one. And it has a pole in the living room, so whoever was in there before was a pole girl. I like that, so I can play on the pole. So I'm like, we'll see. Good morning, everybody. I'm on my way to church. Still don't have no church clothes, and I don't think I need to preface this, but I definitely do wear the same stuff all the time. I'm gonna have my favorite shirts I like to wear, like this one for example, my Crenshaw hoodie for example. And I'm just saying because like I said, I don't have to preface it, but I be in the same stuff all the time. In Spain, today is Sant Jordi, and it's kind of like Valentine's Day, but the point is for, I forget the history behind it, but the point of the day of the premise is like the men give women a rose and then the women give men a book. And I think that's just so beautiful, right? And I feel like men need a book because they look stupid. I don't know why I haven't been vlogging in the past few days. It just hasn't been the vibe, and you know, I can't force it. But anyway, I'm looking for a swimsuit because I'm going to Mallorca on Friday. It was supposed to be like my birthday trip. I guess it technically is like my birthday trip, but I wanted to do it the week of my birthday, which didn't happen, so I'm going on Friday. So I need a swimsuit, so now I'm looking for a swimsuit. And I hate shopping for swimsuits because the guys top and bottom are $40 each. That's crazy. And it's like I obviously can wear something I already have at home, but I want something new. So yeah, and I just left the dentist and I gotta get a whole bunch of shit. Not really, but I need to get like wisdom, teeth pulled, and then I got an implant for this tooth I got pulled like 4 years ago. So I'm just like, I'm irritated with having to do stuff. I'm irritated with having ailments and shit. I'm irritated with having to buy stuff. I'm just, and let me not think about it that way, because you are supposed to look at being able to even access these things or pay for these things as blessings. So let me not say I'm irritated, but I am irritated. Hello. I actually have a lot to say and talk about. I need to put some mousse on this wig, but I'm just gonna talk about it when I get back home. But I have things to talk about. Because this vlog very well would have been very, very short. Today's Tuesday. Y'all know I upload Thursday, Friday, one or the other. But yeah, I have things to talk about, so I'm just gonna talk about them when I get back home. One being how we're all kind of just doing our part, making things happen for each other. I know that sounds crazy, but I'll explain it. The second thing is keeping things between you and God, especially when God says so. Just basically like not talking too much. The other thing is, what was the other thing? Oh, because last week I didn't talk about bringing stuff back to God. Like if you get a message or somebody tells you something, you read something, whatever, and you kind of just take it for what you heard, what somebody told you, instead of bringing it to God and say, well, God, is this what this means? Does this apply to me, kind of thing? So, and maybe it's something else I need to talk about, but I'm gonna have my coffee, finish writing my letter to my friend inside, and then I'm gonna go read for a little bit, come back home, and we're gonna talk about it. I was about to say, so actually I'm gonna talk about everything tomorrow, but now that I've picked up the camera, I'm just gonna talk about it tonight, and I'm gonna bring it back to the couch. So now I'm excited to talk. See, that's why exhibit A of just pushing through and doing shit when you don't feel like doing it. I said I was gonna stop cussing. I'm really gonna try to stop cussing. Doing stuff when you don't feel like doing it, because then you start doing it and you feel like, okay, I can do it. That's how I feel right now. Anyway, what I said I want to talk about, I don't even remember. The first thing was, and maybe not the first thing, I don't really remember what I said verbatim in what order, but I said I want to talk about how we all doing our part for each other. What made me say that was because the other day I got on the bus, and it's like you could sit, they have great seats on the bus for the elderly, people who are pregnant, crippled, whatever, and then the red seats are for everybody else. So they have great seats in the front of the bus, like the elderly, the pregnant, whoever, don't have to walk far to the back of the bus. That's it. Anyway, so the first seats, after the gray seats, everything's red. So anyway, point being, I sat in the first row of red seats, and I thought to myself, I'm gonna just sit in the next row so that if somebody elderly does come on and they don't want to sit in the gray seats, because sometimes they don't always sit in the gray seats, maybe because they feel like they're not old or they don't need it, somebody else may need it, whatever. And maybe they don't even feel like they're not old. I'm sure they know that they're old, but maybe somebody would need it more than they need it. So I had sat in the second seat, and I was like, well, maybe somebody older will want to sit in the seat in front of me, and it would be nice if they wouldn't have to walk as far, whatever. So I sat in the seat, the next row of seats, and then old man, he had hearing aids and stuff like that, he sat in the seat in front of me where I was sitting at first. And then this lady had came and she sat next to him. She was like no more than 50, 60, that's neither here nor there. And she sat next to him, and so then he started asking her something like, where is this? I had my music playing, but I kind of turned it down just to see what they was talking about. And he was like, where is this, or where's this stop, or what do I need to get off for? It was something along those lines, like where's something. And I was like, I'm so glad that I moved so he had somebody next to him that could help him, because I very well may not have known or had that information. It's more than likely that I wouldn't have had that information to help him figure it out, or figure out whatever he was trying to figure out. And it made me think that, like, God is our creator, and he's moving us around and putting us where we're supposed to be. But I feel like we also are moving parts. Obviously we're moving parts, and we do our part in making things happen for each other or assisting each other. Because again, had I not moved and he would have asked me, I would have said, oh, I don't know, or I don't understand what you're saying. And it could have been, he could have gotten off the bus and he could have been lost, or he could have asked somebody else and they misdirected him, or he asked somebody else and they did help him, but maybe it took maybe asking 5 people after he got off the bus. It's just like, it's so many possibilities. And not saying that he would have ended up in a bad situation had I sat there, or had he asked me and I didn't know the answer, but it's like it was easier for him to get what he needed to get because I moved out of the way. And it's like, I feel like that's why we should be conscious of the people, the life around us, and know that, like, everything just isn't about us. Like, again, we are moving parts and we are here to help each other. Like, we cannot exist without each other, you know? So I don't know if I'm making sense. I think I am making sense, but that's what that made me think about, that we are just like all moving parts and making things happen for each other. Or how we all, this is what I wrote, how we all play a part in making things work out for each other. So yeah, that's that. I forget the second thing I said, so I am gonna have to go back and look at the video, but I know for sure I said about bringing stuff back to God that I didn't talk about last week. I say that because, like I said when I was at the beach last week, somebody told me something that made me very uncomfortable for a couple of days. and I let it resonate with me because it made me uncomfortable, and I was almost like, whoa, like what does this mean? Does this mean something? And I was going to allow it to make me doubt what I knew to be true. And what I learned through this situation is that even through people that love you and that you love, the enemy can use them to distort your vision or to plant fear or negative seeds in your life. And again, it can come from people that you love and that love you, and they don't even know that they're being used in this manner or in this way by the enemy, you know. Anyway, so after that, I was like, I know what I know to be true. So why am I letting this get in my head? It really disturbed my spirit. And I said, I have to bring this back to God. I need to talk to God about this. I cannot allow what a human, a mere mortal, has said and not rely on what God has said, or not ask God to clarify what he has told me to be true. And it just made me remember the importance of, again, bringing things back to God. People can tell you things, you can see things, you can even think your own thoughts, you can hear things. But bring it back to God. Talk to God about it. Ask God to make it clear for you. Ask God to clarify it for you. Ask God to give you a sure sign. Ask God to give you safety in a decision, in a message, and to show you or tell you if it really does apply to you or not. If you should listen to what has been said or what you've seen. Along those lines. So yes, after that, because it really did sit in my spirit and make me so uncomfortable, I was like, and even the uncomfortableness felt like it wasn't supposed to be, that it was not real uncomfortableness or real fear. Because what she said it scared me a little bit. I'm like, this fear is not even, I feel that it's not even real fear. This is not, I know that I'm not supposed to be sitting with this feeling. I know that I'm not supposed to be scared. And that's how I knew that I really had to bring it back to God, and how I knew that it was the enemy, because it was not genuine. It wasn't coming from me, you know. And I knew it wasn't coming from God, because again, God had already told me what it was, and I knew what I knew to be true. And so yeah, it's like, I don't know if it really takes being in tune with yourself or being in tune with God to decipher these things, or even recognize these things, or pay attention to these things, or to deliver yourself from out the enemy's grasp, or like when he tries to grab you. Like, I don't know. And I think I'm rambling a little bit now, but yes, always bring things back to God. A word, something you hear, something somebody tells you. Don't allow it to immediately change what you know to be true, or to discourage you, or to distort your vision, your mission, your focus, whatever. Bring stuff back to God. That's my point, because I brought it to God. Oh, let me say that. I brought it to God, and when I say that, God gave me sign after sign after sign, and they were all good signs. And I feel like I needed God to show me a bunch of times, because I myself had a hard time believing that, like, God, this is what you're showing me, this is what you're giving me. Like, there's no way, like, this is too good to be true, kind of thing. And God gave me confirmation after confirmation, sign after sign, and it was all good, you know. And I feel like I kept almost asking for a bad sign. Like, I'm continuing to not trust God and to not believe God, and I'm getting these confirmations and I'm getting these good signs, but I'm almost saying, like, God, give me something bad so that I can be right. Give me a bad sign so I can know that I'm right, kind of thing. Like, even though you're showing me otherwise, there's no way that I can trust you. There's no way that I can believe this is what you're showing me, you're giving me, you're telling me, you know. And so yeah, it was just a lot of stuff going. But bring everything back to God. The other thing I said, and I also want to talk about something else because I just came from Bible study and we talked about keeping your joy during trials and how you gain endurance, or keeping endurance during or when you're going through stuff. But my battery is blinking on my camera, so my camera's gonna die. I'm not gonna have time, I'm sure, to talk for minutes. So I'm gonna charge my camera and then come back in the morning and then watch the video when I was saying what I'll talk about, so I can see what I said I wanted to talk about. And yeah, so I'll see y'all in the morning. I just went to go look because I couldn't help myself. I'm like, well, what did I say? And I was said that it's I want to talk about keeping things between you and God, when he says keep things between you and him, like just not to talk too much. And that actually goes before my point of bringing things back to God, because God told me not to talk about something. I shared it anyway, and then it had my spirit disturbed. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about that tomorrow as well. So yeah, I'm about to take a shower, get ready for bed, play a little Candy Crush. Ronnie Bell's gonna do my ponytail tomorrow because I'm going to Mallorca on Friday. I can't wait to vlog about that. And yeah, again, good night. See y'all in the morning. Ronnie Bell finished my ponytail. It is slick to the gods, and I dragged her to come eat with me. So we're about to have chicken, okay, and rice. So mi plan fue come home. My plan was come home, talk about everything I had to talk about. However, but I put my camera battery on the charger earlier today, and when I went to go get it, it wasn't in the charger. And I'm like, how did that happen? So my battery is still dying. So I'm just gonna talk about everything tomorrow before I start editing and uploading. But I just love a ponytail, y'all. And yeah, that's it. Good morning. I just got up, brushed my teeth. I don't know why I'm talking, thinking, moving, and feeling in slow motion, but that's what it's giving right now. But heading to Mallorca tomorrow, excited about that. I'm about to go have me a coffee, right back to one of the people I'm writing in prison, work on this vlog. I really am still waking up. It's so funny because it's like when I still be sleepy a little bit, or a lot of it, it's so obvious. But yeah, so the last things I wanted to talk about was just keeping things between you and God, and then keeping joy during your trial. So as for, I'm gonna keep it short. As for keeping things between you and God, okay, so there's a situation, and like I said, spoke a little bit briefly the other day. I knew that God told me not to speak on it because I knew that it was possible that it would be ruined, or that it would just bring bad energy to what was going on, right? So anyway, sometimes I get a little excited, and after a while I do be wanting to share with my friends, you know. And so I share with a few of my friends, and two of my friends were very negative. And that's when I said that in the last vlog, like when my friend said something that really disturbed my spirit, that was one thing. Then my other friend said something that didn't hit me as deep, but it was just negative. And I was like, oh wow, like okay. And like I did say the other day, like it made me question what was happening, because I'm like, is this God talking to me then? Should I heed what they're thinking and feeling? And that just goes back to bringing things back to God, because like I said, the enemy will use people to distort your vision of what God has for you, even people close to you, if they don't even know that that's what's happening. So anyway, that is just kind of just more so why I say, when God tells you to keep things between you and him, or to not speak on something, just listen. And it also made me realize that when you are connected to God in that way, you have to understand that when God gives you instructions, it's for a reason, and he knows what he's doing. And yeah, bottom line, God knows what he's doing and never think otherwise. That was my lesson in that. And it also just told me really to shut the fuck up, because, and it's not a matter of not being able to trust my friends or bring things to them. I have very trustworthy friends that I can tell anything, and when I mean anything to. I honestly think it's not a secret that I have that I haven't shared with one or some of my closest friends and sisters. Like I honestly don't even think I have secrets for myself, because I have people that I can trust my secrets with, kind of thing. So it's not a matter of trust, it's just more so just, and it's not a matter of people not meaning well. Like I said, I think the enemy really just uses people to distort your vision. And I'm kind of repeating myself, but yeah, and I'm rambling and thinking about a lot of stuff. It's the sleeping mind. So the other thing was, in Bible study on Tuesday, we're reading James in church, and so we started following James in Bible study. I'm trying not to reach my arms too high because I don't want my boobs to come out. But yeah, so the premise was, like I said, like keeping the endurance, persevere, keeping the faith, and keeping joy during your trials. And it was just, why did I want to talk about this though? Oh, because the message, like the whole meeting that it was really nice. I think that's a beautiful reminder of keeping joy during our trials, because our happiness should not be circumstantial. It should not be based on what's going on around us. And then that's when Pastor John, the pastor, he was pointing out the difference between happiness and joy, because joy is like not circumstantial, whereas happiness is, and your joy should not be based on like what happens in your life, because bad things are going to happen, but we should keep our joy, obviously, and then God fills us with that joy, and that joy comes from God, whatever. So that was, I just really love that conversation. And then one of the girls in the group, her name is Ufoma, sweetest thing. I recorded her birthday, or part of her birthday, a few weeks ago, and so it's her, the birthday girl, to celebrate that day. And she was sharing like her testimony, and then like the trial she had been through, and how she found joy and got closer to God. And she was like, well, she's moving to Germany soon, and she was living in Sweden before. She's done a little time in Barcelona. And she was saying that like Barcelona was a passage for her, and because she had just gotten so close to God while she was in Barcelona and the trials that she faced in Barcelona. And I said to her, and I was like, you know, it's so crazy that you say that Barcelona was a passage for you. And I just love the way that she put that, because I'm like, I would have never in a million years guessed that me coming to Barcelona would have transformed me in the way that it did, and brought me to God the way that it did. Like, out of all the things I thought I would have gotten from being here, it would have never been there. Like, I would have never ever imagined. And I was just thinking, like, I wasn't even initially supposed to be here this long. I was only supposed to be here for 6 months. It's over 2 years now, and I just feel like everything happens for a reason. And honestly, I feel like the community that I built here in God, the faith that I have here in God, is like, it's just so much to say about that, honestly, and words cannot express, honestly, like what that feels like, and what I feel like, and what God has done in me. It really is crazy to think about. It's like, as I'm trying to express myself, it's just so much running through my mind, and it's really, I just can't explain how hard it is to put it into words, you know. So that's one thing too. Another thing I just thought about was just how orderly God is. And I was writing one of the guys that I'm writing in prison, like I said, yesterday or the day before that. I think it was the day before. But like I said, initially I was supposed to be writing his friend, and his friend didn't write me but told him to write me. So that was just one thing. So anyway, we just have like these likes and interests and comments as far as like music, philosophy, and the conversations that we can have. And he was like, I was telling my friends in here about you, and they said that they think I manifested you. I honestly hate when people say that, because it's like, but it just made me think that like God is orderly, and things do happen for a reason. Because what are the chances, and I think I've spoken this before, what are the chances that your friend didn't write me, and then we started corresponding, and we have great conversation, we have so many things in common, and you have a friend in me and I have a friend in you, kind of thing. And so I feel like God is just so orderly, and he really does do things for a reason. And so I'm just always reminded of that, and I see that more and more lately in my life, that God is an orderly God. There's no need to worry. Like, relax, God's got it. It's already handled. God is going before you. He sees before you. So keep your joy, keep your faith, and all will be well. So yeah, I'm about to go have my coffee, write this letter, and then work on this vlog, get ready for Mallorca, and I'll see y'all next week. I can't wait to see like all the footage and stuff I get in Mallorca. So ciao. So I just got back home, and I had actually planned to work on my vlog while I was at the cafe, but I left my camera here with my SD card in it, so I wasn't able to work on it. Like, I could have came home. I literally live like 2 minutes away from the cafe I work at, and got in the camera. But I'm glad I didn't, because I can talk about something in reference to like trials and doing your trials and stuff like that, because when we had an icebreaker. Let me sit down because I'm out of breath. So our icebreaker at Bible study on Tuesday was, can you describe or share, if you want to, a trial that you're going through? And I said my trial was basically just like giving things to God. One of my examples was, I gave like 3 examples, but one of my examples was how I'm looking for my long-term apartment, and it's been hard trying to find something and get accepted for something. And I was just sending them, the apartment people, like all my paperwork, bank account stuff, just different things, trying to get this apartment. So anyway, I had asked them while I was at the coffee shop, I was like, can I send this, and will it be enough to kind of like solidify this apartment? And I got a message, and he was like, don't worry about it, the apartment's yours, like, you've been accepted. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you God, because I was telling him, I was like, you know, I'm just trying to take my hand out of stuff after I've done all that I could do, because I started thinking like, okay, what else can I do to make this work? If I've done all that I can do, it has to be something more I can do, you know? And I was like, I'm trying to just give things to God and let God do what he's gonna do, and just sit back and be still and know that he is God. So I just wanted to share that, in addition to what I was sharing about like finding joy during your trials, because it's like, honestly, I did just give it to God. Because yesterday they were really frustrating me, and I'm like, fuck it, like, what's gonna happen is gonna happen. If I don't get this apartment, I'm gonna find something, but it's just hard to find something given my current situation. So yeah, and I literally, like, I just forgot about it. I didn't get pissed off, but yeah, like I was saying, I did get pissed off. I was just really like, okay, I know I'm gonna figure something out, you know, like, it may not be in the easiest order per se, but I know that like I'm not going to go without. And I really just gave it to God, and I was content in my situation. And so yeah, that just brought me so much joy just now. It just made me very happy. So I have an apartment for the next 5 years, and that's just a relief. I don't have to move again until 5 years from now, so that's good. I mean, I can break my contract if I find somewhere else I want to move to, but if I don't, then yes, I have something for 5 years, so that's good. Anyway, yes.